Hi everyone, I'm Shri, and today I'm going to talk about our work on video memorability modeling done jointly between Penn State College of IST and Adobe MDSR Labs. So, what is memorability? It can be defined as an intrinsic property of any given media, whether that is textual, visual, or multimodal, that makes it more or less memorable for humans. Now, intuitively, it is very difficult for us to guess what drives this. For example, past research has shown that, say, these images on the top row are more memorable for humans than the ones in the bottom row. Now, while human intuition may not be as effective, research has shown that data-driven approaches can be used to train models that can isolate factors that drive memorability, for example, visual aspects or objects present in the media. The backbone of such data-driven approaches is the way high-quality human data is collected, which is usually, most commonly, through something called the visual memory game. In this, human participants are shown images, which is the media in this case, at regular intervals of time and are asked to identify if they have seen an image previously or not. If they can identify it, it counts as a success or hit. Now, these hits and misses are then aggregated to provide an overall memorability score for any given media. Now, there are several issues with this data collection process that makes it very difficult to scale up to large memorability data sets. For example, because of its heavy reliance on human participants, it's very expensive and time-taking, and it also provides aggregate scores which are interpretable only in a relative sense. In our work, we ask whether it's possible to move from predicting only how memorable something is to what exactly is memorable. For example, given a book, we don't want an aggregate memorability score, but we want to know exactly what somebody reading the book would remember about it down the line. To do this, what we do is we rely on tip of the tongue retrieval queries. Tip of the tongue is a state where we can remember some information about something, some content that we're searching for, but not exactly or accurately enough to go and directly search for it on a standard search engine. So online platforms like Reddit provide many threads where people can post such queries, which are then solved by the community at large and also validated by the original poster. Using this, we create the largest dataset known to date, which includes descriptive memorability recall and includes that by leveraging signals from in the wild interactions. We also note that on Reddit, there is a large presence of video domains. That is, people have searched very frequently for videos. Using this, we also create a video-based subset of our dataset where we have the direct descriptive memorability signals from the post itself, and we also download the videos and provide additional multimodal information about them by some processing. Now, to validate the usefulness of the data that we create, we also propose two novel tasks. The first of them is descriptive recall generation, where the model is provided with the video and a question of what would a person remember seeing this video. And it's required to provide an open-ended, open format response. We train using our data set, we fine-tune a Qwen 2.5 vision language model, and we compare it with many known popular baselines, and we see that our model trained on our data set outperforms all of them significantly. We also test zero shot on the Lambda dataset, which contains a small subset focusing only on advertisement videos, and find that our model generalizes very well to that dataset as well. Further, because our dataset is collected in an unsupervised manner from an online source, we test whether it can generalize zero shot to a different distribution and an unseen task. To do this, we conduct a human evaluation study where we use advertisement videos from the Lambda dataset and ask participants to recreate a single scene from these videos or one of these videos using some diffusion model. Then, using these prompts that the human participants use, we define another task which is called prompt recall ranking, where the model is provided with the original video and a few options of these diffusion prompts, and it's required to choose the correct prompt. Even there, we see that our model, which was trained on our data set, outperforms known baselines that otherwise perform very well on such open-ended tasks. The second Second task that we introduce is basically in the same format as the Reddit platform, which is tip of the tongue retrieval, where the model is provided with the tip of the tongue query and it's required to retrieve the most relevant or the correct video. We train using our dataset in a contrastive learning manner and present or provide the first known baseline for text to video tip of the tongue retrieval. Again, we evaluate with several different settings and see that the model trained on our dataset outperforms all of these existing baselines. Finally, some of the future directions that we are interested in includes personalizing recall generation and analyzing specific influences on long-term memorability, and even intervening on how content is created or tailoring interactions between user and content based on increasing memorability. Thank you so much for your time, and if you're interested, please feel free to check out our paper, dataset, code, or models.